Good afternoon. This is Paul Nichols, Superintendent from Mecklenburg County Public Schools, coming to you from one of our elementary schools as we get ready for school to begin on next Tuesday, September the 8th. That day, we will start a school year like no other. Our secondary students will wake up and log into their computers for school to check in with their teacher. And over 65% of our elementary school students will wake up and get on a lightly loaded bus or get dropped off by their parents or guardians for a day of face-to-face learning while wearing face coverings. Our other elementary school students will find their way to the school area in their home to work on their assignments, or for upper grade students, log onto a computer and interact with the teacher and with the content. Our teachers will start the school year in unfamiliar territory. While our elementary school teachers will get to interact with the many students in person, they will also have to maintain links with their remote learning students. Our secondary teachers will arrive at schools with only a few students and head to their classrooms to get ready for the live remote sessions with their students and to upload the day's tasks. The health and safety of our students and our employees is our highest priority. To prevent the spread of COVID-19 virus, we will follow safety protocols from the Center for Disease Control, or the CDC, as well as from the Virginia Department of Health. Students and adults will be wearing cloth or N95 type face coverings. Bus seating is assigned and socially distanced, and students will wear face coverings. Our elementary students will be kept together as a classroom, very much like the one that you see around me, with appropriate social distancing between their desks. We will practice proper hand washing procedures throughout the day in our elementary schools. Surfaces will be cleaned systematically throughout the day, and teachers will maintain their distance from each other and from students, and of course, they too will be wearing face coverings. During our best efforts to prevent the spread of this disease, we fully expect that we will have positive cases arise in our students, faculty, and staff this year due to the evident widespread community infection rate of the COVID-19 virus in Mecklenburg County. Since last spring and continuing through this week, there have been MCPS employees that have tested positive, and they have been isolated. When the school starts, we will have to be prepared for the reality that cases will continue to emerge from both students and employees. That is the nature of this highly communicable virus. We seek to diminish the chances of infection through our COVID protocols and procedures that are in place and that we have trained all of our employees in. These procedures are in place for getting to school, moving about in the school, for eating breakfast and lunch, for recess, for restroom breaks, and for dismissal. Each school has a nurse, and each nurse has been trained as a contact tracer. We are asking screening questions daily of our students with your help as parents. And if there is any suspected illness, that student or employee will be further screened by our school nurse. However, if and when positive cases emerge, we are prepared to respond. We may learn that a student or employee has been exposed to the virus outside of school, and that would prompt immediate isolation and contact tracing. We may have a student or employee test positive directly, and that would prompt immediate isolation and contact tracing. Our school nurse and our nurse supervisors will immediately begin contact tracing, speak with the health department, and receive guidance. Mecklenburg County Public Schools will follow the recommendations of the health department as to how to communicate with the school or broader community if and when a broader case emerges. During these unprecedented times, we have to learn to speak differently and learn to read each other's faces while wearing face coverings. Some families with remote learners may need to get those students to a Wi-Fi access spot in order for them to interact in real time with their teachers and classmates virtually. Lessons being accessed remotely will be different from face-to-face instruction. Students will have to be more self-directed and demonstrate grit and perseverance while meeting the standard expectations of the State Department of Education for passing their classes. For students learning remotely, parents must be involved in establishing and monitoring good academic habits in order for students to be successful. Now, even more than ever, we need your help. Help us to keep your student focused on learning whether face-to-face or remotely. Help us by communicating with your students' teachers. Help us monitor your students' emotional well-being. Help us keep everyone safe and our elementary students in school by keeping home any student who has a fever or is showing any sign of illness. No school division has ever done this before. Our faculty, staff, and administrators have worked hard to get ready for this, but we know we'll be thrown multiple curveballs. The one thing that you can count on, regardless of the situation that may arise over the next weeks or even months, is that we care deeply for your students, their well-being, as well as our teachers and their well-being. With the help of the entire Mecklenburg community, we know that we can do this, and we can do it well. I thank you for your attention to this. I thank you for working with us. We look forward to seeing your students through this 2020-21 school year, and I trust that you have a good afternoon.